Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be going through a contents review of the high-grade 1-144 RX-78GP01Fb, the Gundam GP01 full burn-in, and this particular high-grade was released back in the year 2000. So doing the odd contents review here is a bit of a contents filler, because hopefully it should be super quick and easy. And before I forget, this particular kit did come from the 0083 Stardust memory quote-unquote OVA. Pretty much my first introduction to Gundam back in the day. And that day was a very long time ago. Anyway, contents review. The box is flat packed and out of the way, so no quick review of the box. But I will have a link to the kit over at HobbyLink Japan. So there's some images and more info over there. Anyway, front of the manual for the GP01Fb as opposed to the GP01. I've already built a GP01, or at least come close to building one, so there won't be much of a review for that since it was pre-YouTube. But here we have the front of the manual, with a nice shot of the GP01 front and center, as well as its core fighter here in the bottom. Now, there has been a bit of work done to make this a bit more color accurate. Not to say that the runners are terrible, but it is circa 2000. It did need just a little bit of help to make better. Still, 2000, it was still a very good kit when it came out. So front of the manual, back of the manual, just a few different shots of the GP01. There's a color guide back in the day when everything was still in Japanese. In terms of the inside, we do have more information about the GP01, so no doubt that this is a bit of a blurb about the suit, probably how it came to be. This page just goes through its various armaments, so beam rifle, the shield, the core fighter, beam sabers, and things like that. So very nice to see all of that included. Have a nice little shot of the GP01, and then some additional line art here as well. Those are the runners that are included, which we'll see in a minute. And then in terms of the instructions, given it is a 2-decade-old set, it was still a very contemporary high grade of the time, which is good. So a lot of reliance on polycaps and things like that. So it did have a few things going for it, but obviously compared to high grades of the last few years, it will feel a bit dated. But overall, it's still not too bad, especially based on my experience of the GP01 and GP02. So that was the main. In terms of the sticker sheet, surprisingly, it's actually not a huge one. So we have the eyes as per usual, the 2 blue bits I believe are for the shield, and the red one, not too sure what the red one was for. But yes, sticker sheet. Now, runners. Multicolor A runner, predominantly a nice dark grey, bit of red, bit of blue, bit of yellow. So once again, to my comment earlier, the runners weren't terrible with their colours, but you do probably want to do some additional colour correcting where needed. So that was the multicolor A. We have a single B runner in white. So that's a good example of the shield and the beam saber. It's all the one solid colour, so to use the beam effect here, you want to add some colour to that. Likewise, the shield will have the 2 stickers, but could need some extra colours here and there as well. Definitely some good detailing back in the day for some of these kits. So panel lining will be really fun to do, especially if I remember my experience to the GP01 and 02. Now, we have two C runners, functional copies, both in white. So some of your limbs, both of the upper and lower variety, as well as your verniers. We surprisingly have a multicolour E runner. Bit more red, bit more blue, still a lot more grey. Bit of white here as well. Feet, some of the shoulders, core fighter, backpack and things like that. So that's very nice. So it's cool to see some of that, some of the detailing on the bottom of the feet. And then lastly, we do have two polycaps in grey. I'm not sure what this one was. Okay, this one's the old school style PC123, and that's all in grey. And then we have a PC20. Some of these will definitely get used. Don't expect all of them to get used, so there'll definitely be some polycaps left over, I suspect. So that brings us to the end of the contents review of the high grade 1-144 Gundam GP01Fb. So for its time, definitely wasn't a bad kit, had a good number of runner inclusions, bit of colour separation, so overall, back in the day, it would have been a great kit. I'll definitely go straight to the backlog for a little bit, but at some point in time I would love to actually finish my full high grade collection and even the master grade collection of some of these GPO series, given some of the nostalgic value it has for me. Thank you very much for watching this quick, hopefully, contents review video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, link to that below. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I will have a link to the GP01Fb over at Hobbylink Japan. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you in a future video. See ya.